fuel in the tank. General idea about everybody about
question.
Welcome race fans to the Domino's TYJ Racing Dented Fender Truck Series live on All Pro Broadcasting. Thanks for being patient. We had a couple of technical issues, which does happen sometimes in life. My name is Robert McFarland. Joining me in the booth, I've got two of my good friends, Curtis Young and Joe Johnson. How you guys doing tonight?
Good, Robert. Just happy to have things worked out here. Working lap 32 under caution, and yeah, Joe Johnson has joined us here, just involved in this last incident here, and released from the infield care center, and up here to do some calling the race now that his truck's wrecked.
Yeah, I tell you what, guys, that was a lot of fun. CCR had a plan when they came in tonight, and they definitely showed their muscle early, controlling both lanes, top and bottom. A lot of grip out there in the late afternoon. Tires aren't burning off real quick, so be some good racing towards the end. Everybody seemed real apprehensive to begin the race, it being a chase race and all. So I'm excited to be up here and watching some racing with you guys.
And while we have a second here under caution, we'll go over the current chase grid. We are in race number 3 of round number 1. After tonight, we are going to narrow the field down from 20 drivers to 16. So right now, James Ross in the number 51, he is the only one locked into round number 2. But Gary Sexton, he's plus 39 points in the good headed into tonight, so he's in pretty good shape. Gerald Campbell, he was in pretty good shape, but he was just involved in that last wreck, so that could spell trouble for Gerald. Mark Jackson, he's sitting in a good spot right now. Shane Parrish would currently make it in. William Locklear would currently be in. Blake Griffith, Jack Watts, Andrew Kessler, Judd Danielson, Vernon Margheim, Jeff Martin, Tyler Chalk, Chad Payne, Jeremy Crandall, and Josh Tanner would be the drivers to go through. Before we started tonight's race, Ivan Garcia, Ray Richer, James Somke, and David Wright were the drivers on the outside looking in, and so tight battle right around that cut line. Josh Tanner would be the last truck to make it in. Ivan Garcia sitting 1 point behind him headed into tonight, and I do believe that a couple of these drivers have been involved in that last wreck, so we'll see how this shakes things up at the end of this race. But right now it's really looking like Josh Tanner on that cut line right at the very end. He's still good, and the 72 of Ivan Garcia right behind him, he's still good. He's sitting in position 2, so both of those guys still battling hard for that final position there.
Yes, sir, Curtis. Also, Ray Richer is running in the 7th position. He's still got some work to do, but if he can pull out a top 3 finish, and Ivan Garcia and, like you mentioned, the 84 of Josh Tanner have difficulties, he could just make it in to advance to the next round. I'll let you guys take this restart, and I'm not sure if we've got Crank It Up tonight. We may not. If we've got Crank It Up, we will absolutely go to Crank It Up on this restart.
Robert, it sounds like the guys in the truck are telling us that our Cranking It Up is working properly here at Talladega, so we'll let these big bad trucks roll back around the green, and if you're at home and you got that stereo that's surround sound, go ahead and crank it up one time.
And one last reminder, I will be giving the details of how you can win that free large 3-topping Domino's pizza when we come back from Crank It Up.
Vern Mark, I'm going to lead him to the green flag this time with Ivan Garcia on the outside. Mark Jackson in second car inside line, and looks like Wesley Whitfield, 4th position there on the outside. They crank it up as the pace car pulls off here. The trucks get ready to go green flag.
Green, green, green.
Welcome back, fans. Thanks for your patience. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Crank it up to give you a quick review of what you did miss. At the beginning of the race, we went about 29. I think, Joe, you correct me if I'm wrong. Green flag lap. We had a small incident between the 07 of Tyler Chalk and the 1 of James Sankey that caused several other trucks to be involved, including you, Joe. And we've had the restart, so fans, you missed a lot of hard green flag racing. A couple of guys had already come down and made a pit stop. And Joe, it definitely took you out of the race. Is that about when that caution occurred?
Yeah, it is. You know, and right now, Robert, I'll tell you what I'm doing is I'm watching these guys up front. Vernon Markham, the 72, looks like Ivan Garcia. Kind of got together right through there through 1 and 2. Vernon looked like he drifted up just a little bit. So he's got some right front damage. The 72 looks like he's got a little damage on the left rear. Curtis, you expect it to slow him down, or will they be able to stay in the track?
I'm not sure because Josh Tanner looks on the outside lane there, the first truck on the outside, the 84 machine. He looks like he has a little bit of front end damage, so it's probably pretty even with Vernon having a little bit of damage. The second truck back, it might even be a little bit better off for the inside line just because Vernon has a truck pushing him and he's pushing a truck, whereas the 84 has that damage in clean air, so it looks to be pretty even right now. But going back to that restart, Vernon Markheim had the lead, and it looked like he moved up the track just a little bit. I don't know if he was trying to give Mark Jackson just a little bit of room to see, but Mark Jackson took that room and put him 3 wide in the middle, and that put Markheim back into 3rd place. He's made his way back up into 2nd, or he's still sitting in the, yeah, it looks like he's scored 2nd this time by across the stripe. But
you know, what's really worried me right now is how these guys are racing. You see a lot of 3 wide up here at the front. The second pack has completely dropped back. They're probably 6 to 8 seconds back. But these guys right now, they just need to get in line. They just need to ride for a while. I mean, you've got, what, another 55 laps? There's really no sense in risking your chase for a position right now.
Yeah, I think all these guys, with Judd Danielson leading the pack there in 10th position, everybody behind him, they're all single file. I think all of those guys are pretty much just waiting for the big one and hoping to not get involved in it, but I'm not sure if the big one is going to happen with that amount of trucks trying to stay out of the mess. I mean, looking up front here, there's only, 9 trucks in the lead pack, so.
Yeah, there is 9 trucks, and you're exactly right there. You know, I'm watching some of these guys that are just making some crazy moves right now. This early, I'd be single file. And Curtis, I've raced with you quite a bit, and I'm sure that you'd probably be single file as well, because I know you're not that type of racer to risk your piece early. You know, you want to have it for those later stages of the race.
Yeah, I mean, you always kind of want to stay single file if you can, but at a place like Talladega where 3 wide is not uncommon at all, 2 wide it shouldn't be a problem at all times. So the only time it really becomes a problem is when you get down to the nitty-gritty, down to the final laps, and people start trying to side draft. So how they're running right now, they seem to be giving each other, top lane seems to be giving the bottom lane quite a bit of room through the corners. Looks like they're actually staying in that second lane. A lot of times you'll see that bottom lane come down, pretty much almost bring their truck fully below that white line to try and side draft that bottom lane. So they're not doing that right now, and I think as long as they stay like that, they'll be fine until they need to try and single file out for pit stops, and then you might see these guys fighting for positions a little bit more.
What I want to do now is I've gone back to the backpack. Looks like Tyler Chalk's got that second one, him and Jack Watt single file. Behind them they got Judd Danielson and the rest of the CCR crew. What you got for us, Robert?
Yeah, just wanted to give the fans, again, thanks for being patient with us. Real quick, I'm going to give you the details, fans, of how you can win that free large 3-topping Domino's pizza. Normally we do that cutoff at halfway, which would be half a 94. Guys with the math, is that lap 47? Oh, we got a caution. I'll go over those details in just a few minutes. But we're going to extend it past lap 47. Fans, we're going to add another 20 laps to it. So let's say lap 80. Get your pick in. I'll give you the details in just a minute.
So that wreck right there, it looked like it was the 42 of David Wright. Got a little bit of help from the number 9 of Chad Payne. Spun into the 44 of Ray Richer. Sends them both up into the fence, and I think those are the only 2 that really got hard damage off of that.
Yeah, Curtis, I'm watching the replay right now, so I'll get with you here in just a second as far as what we see.
Yeah, it looked like the 42 and the 9, the bumpers just weren't square there, and that's what kind of sent the 42 around.
Yeah, Chad Payne definitely looked like he helped the 42 around just a little bit, but you know, it does look quite like a racing deal. We'll wait for the guys at Domino's TYJ up there that make all these calls to come down with what they see. Meanwhile, you know, Curtis, right now what I do is down pit road, 4 tires and 2 cans of Sunoco fuel.
Yeah, I think, well, it actually depends. At a plate track where tires don't matter near as much, a lot of times you'll see guys, if it's not going to change their fuel strategy, then why come down pit lane is how some people will think. So
that's a fair assessment.
If coming down pit lane right now isn't going to make them have to make one less pit stop during the race, if it were to go green flag, then I think you'll see some of these guys stay out. But taking a look at the leader, Mark Jackson stayed out, so I'm not sure. I'm going to actually take a look back and see if he was the leader headed into pit lane. He was, so Mark Jackson was the leader, and he decided
like
not
the
to come down pit
71
lane.
of Wesley Whitfield just got in the wall under caution. Holy cow. Yeah, I'm watching the replay here now, Curtis. Wesley Whitfield, he just goes up in the wall right there in the turn 3, pancakes it hard. A lot of damage on that right front. So Wesley was running 4th. It'll be interesting to see if whether or not he comes down pit road to try to fix that damage, or if there's anything that he's going to pay for later on in the race.
What else did you guys see occurring down there on pit road?
Robert, I haven't seen a whole lot of pit road action at all. I'm not sure about Curtis. Like I said, I was watching the 71 when he had his little incident under caution. So, Curtis, what you got?
Mark Jackson stayed out on the track there. I'm gonna go back and see if the 84 of Josh Tanner, I believe, also stayed out on the track. These guys are going to be a little bit shorter on fuel than the rest of them. Vernon Markheim and pretty much everybody behind him pitted. So second on back, pitted, I do believe. I think William Locklear stayed out. And Jack Watts, as well as... who's that behind 66 machine? So I think we had about 3 or 4 trucks stay out that time. Mark Jackson, Josh Tanner, William Locklear. And I believe that's it. Tyler Chalk and Jack Watts.
So Curtis, we do the Domino's TYJ giveaway for the free pizza. And if I had to ask you right now, who's your pick?
I don't know. It's anybody's race. It's down to the last lap. It's anybody's race at Talladega, so not really sure who I'd pick, but James Ross is never a bad pick. He's got 10 wins this season, maybe 11, I'm not sure. Can't even count the number of stickers on the back of that thing, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick James Ross.
How about Judd Danielson? He's been up front a little bit tonight. I think he's led a couple of laps, so he's due sooner or later. Judd Danielson is going to get to that start-finish line first, so why not today?
Oh man, I am just waiting for the day that Judd gets to victory lane. It's been him and I have both been here since the beginning of Domino's TYJ, and he's never had an official win in any of the race series, and he's been so close so many times, and just had things not go his way, and we're probably jinxing him right now by even talking about it. But yeah, he definitely knows his way around these plate tracks and knows where to put what position to put himself in to be up front at the end. So
yes, sir.
We count him out.
Absolutely, we've got in the contact of Will Davis. Will, this is Joe Johnson, Curtis, and Robert in the booth. How's your race going? And I think Joe's got a couple questions for you.
Good. Right now we're just trying to stay patient and obviously be there at the end. There's a bunch of us together, so trying to get the guys to the next round, and hopefully one of us will win.
Will, I was able to see it firsthand earlier that CCR was able to work the both lanes up front, kind of keep the pace of the race. Has that changed now that you guys have moved back a little bit, or are you guys going to try to get back towards the front here quick?
Yeah, we will eventually. There's still some people up front that kind of make us nervous, so we just kind of want to be patient with that. But yeah, we feel like when the time comes for us to go, we can go and get there whenever we have to. And yeah, we feel pretty confident about it. Obviously, beginning of the race, we really controlled it, the pace of it, and who led, whatnot. So yeah, I think we're in a pretty good position where we're at.
As far as the grip out there, is it pretty solid the entire run? You lose the front end or the rear end towards the end of the run as the fuel burns off? What are you feeling?
Yeah, it starts to get a little bit tight towards the end, so that bottom line gets a little snug. So we'll see how it plays out. We hadn't really been in the back bump drafting a whole lot, but yeah, we'll kind of see how it works. I'm not sure.
All right, man. Well, I know you've got a lot of strategy to work with your team, so we appreciate you taking the time out. Good luck tonight, and we'll talk to you later on, man.
10-4, appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And as we're just talking, it looks like him and his teammates are coming down pit road to maybe top off here before we go back green. What do you think about that strategy, Joe and Curtis?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, CCR, they came in tonight with a plan. They've been discussing it all week. It's going to be exciting to see whether or not they can employ it and get it to work correctly. But the plan is solid. and like I said, I'm pulling for those guys. They're all my teammates, and hopefully we'll see a CCR truck here in Victory Lane. I'd like to see them 1, 2, 3, 4 if they could get it here, and I have no doubt that towards the end of the race you'll see those guys up front.
Yeah, real quick for fans, if you've been following us all season, we are going to give you to lap, instead of 47 to lap 67, get your pick in for that free large 3 topping Domino's Pizza. Real quick on the CCR team, we've got Will Davis. Just heard from him. He's in that CCR number 11 beautiful truck. Behind him, we got a couple other guys working with these guys. Tim B. Cox is also on the CCR team in the 19 Silverado. Also got Blake Griffith. He is in that number 7. Gary Sexton, of course, is in the 17. And some other guys that just pitted with them that are kind of working together as, what do you call it, co-opetition, is Gerald Campbell in that number 6. And also Judd Danielson, that number 85, has got a beautiful paint job. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we do have quite a few trucks with some beautiful, beautiful paint jobs in pink and or, giving a shout out to breast cancer awareness and all the survivors. I'm going to talk about one truck in just a minute when we get to it. But yeah, fans, this is how you win the free pizza before we go back green. You want to text 919-883-7497. Or if you are one of the loyal fans in the chat group, you can say, I choose this driver. Only pick one driver. Don't pick one now, another one in 10 laps or 20 laps. You've got until lap 67, so you've got about 20 more laps. Take your time. Pick out a driver. The first fan who accurately predicts the winner of this race will win a free large 3 topping Domino's Pizza from any store in the country, even in Canada. And we've had many winners. Hopefully you'll be the person winning tonight. Guys, what are you thinking about this restart?
Well, I'm looking forward to it, but fans, I'm going to make it real easy for you. Trucks to pick tonight, the 11, looks like Tim B. Cox in the 19, the 7 of Blake Griffith, or the 17 of Gary Sexton. One of those CCR trucks is going to find Victory Lane. We're back under green here at Talladega.
Mark Jackson leads into the green flag that time. He waited a lot longer than, I'm not sure who's the control truck on that last restart. I think it was Vernon Markheim, but Vernon went right away as soon as the pace car pulled off. Mark waited until the green flag flew, which there's a drastic difference here at Talladega, probably like 10 seconds worth of difference. So big difference in the restart there for a lot of those guys. And it looked like Tyler Chalk was able to pull down behind the number 4 of William Locklear. And Josh Tanner still stuck on the outside line there, falling back. Looks like he's able to pull in there behind the 66 of Jack Watts.
Looks like Chad Payne's going to be the last truck in single file, and that's where we're going to find the 2-wide racing. Looks like it's between Eric Stanford and James Somke. Just as I say that, Eric Stanford goes ahead and makes it a single file race. That leaves Ivan Garcia on the outside in that 72 truck. Ivan's been up as high as, I believe, 2nd tonight, so he knows that his chase hangs in the balance of how well he does here. So you're going to see a determined Ivan Garcia the entire race.
Here comes James Ross in the 51, making his way by the number 9 of Chad Payne. He's got Eric Stanford in tow. He's catching up on that lead pack on the back bumper, the number 66 of Jack Watts now in that Southeast Motorsports pad machine. And looks like the outside line is just outnumbered right now. Josh Tanner and Mark Jackson moves up to block the outside line run. He's stuck in the middle now. Josh Tanner and William Locklear are trying to make a run on the outside to the lead. Not sure if it's going to work with Vernon Markheim coming up to save Mark Jackson. So it could be 3 wide, 2x2 for the lead in just a second here.
Yeah, that's the old sucker hole there, Curtis. We've seen it a lot growing up in NASCAR. You know, when one of those guys gets in the middle without any help, he's going to go to the back quick, fast, and in a hurry. Looks like Mark Jackson just kind of experienced that for a second. So he's going to move back to, what, we'll call it 6th, maybe 7th now. Looks like they're 3 wide again up front, Curtis.
Yeah, it's the middle line of Josh Tanner, Mark Jackson, and Vernon Markheim. They're making it work. Outside momentum just wasn't quite able to get the job done with only 2 trucks, but the middle line is looking strong now. The middle line is now the outside because they've single filed it back down to 2 wide, but Tyler Chalk is now the first truck on the inside line. Josh Tanner the first truck on the outside line. Is he going to pull down, ditch Mark Jackson, or is he going to try and tow him along? There's about 5 or 6 trucks on that outside line trying to work it right now.
From what I learned earlier in the night, you get the guys up on the outside line and you get them nose to tail, and you have them communicating just a little bit. They can actually control the entire race from the outside line. We see this stuff every year at Talladega, the leapfrog, where the outside line gets the run, the guy up front pulls down, and the line continues to proceed forward. But if that guy on the outside line would just stay in line, they kill any type of runs from the cars back behind them. So if it were up to me, and I could work the outside line and have help, I would stay out on the outside line as long as I possibly could.
Yeah, and that's kind of what my strategy was. Last week I did a plate race on Saturday night. I kind of thought the inside line is, I don't know, you're kind of stuck there. You don't really have anywhere to go. You don't really have any freedom. You're just, you have a truck on your outside and truck in front of you, truck behind you. The only place you can go is behind the yellow line and drop behind everybody. At least if you're on the outside line, you can have the option to go down low if the opportunity presents itself, or you just overall have a lot more space on that outside line, and it seems to work almost as good. So if it was me, I'd rather be out there, but the outside is definitely making the passes right now, but everybody's pulling back down to the inside lane. So,
well, this is exactly what we're talking about. Now let's watch the 51 at James Ross, the 24 of Eric Stanford. You got 2 trucks on the outside versus 4 trucks on the inside. Now as they begin to work through the corners, the 51 and the 24, they'll almost look like they stall, but as they come off the corner, they get that huge run. The 51's right up on the back of Mark Jackson now. Going to give him just a little bump as they work down the back straightaway. Now I expect Mark Jackson to come back down low. He's going to try to work both lanes, but I don't think the 51's going to ride there very long and be happy with it. Look for him to go outside and make it 3 wide here shortly.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay behind him right now, but if Mark Jackson pulls back down and pulls back up in front, I think James is just going to try and drive around him, but maybe not at this point. These guys still got over 40 laps to go, and James is a smart driver, so I think he'd give him that little bit of space, just knowing how much time is left in the race, knowing he can get him back later if he has to. So
now another thing, fans that that you're watching on YouTube, and the thing to remember, these guys are not just racing each other, but they're also having to watch their engine temperature. Curtis, why don't you explain to us just a little bit, once the guys start closing up on the draft, what these engines do and how you have to cool them off?
Well, a lot of times, if you're working with somebody, you can kind of ask them to pull up half a lane and give you that little bit of air, at least half a truck worth of air anyway, and otherwise you kind of just gotta peek out a line and kill the draft a little bit, basically, but you gotta do it to keep your engine temp down. It doesn't kill the draft entirely if you have somebody still pushing behind you, but you're definitely a lot faster when you're just tucked up bumper to bumper to bumper, but like you said, you'll end up overheating, especially with these conditions that we're running with today. 78 degrees, 86 degree track temp. It's not the warmest, not the coldest, but enough to overheat it, and these guys got to watch that and try and keep it cool. So really you just got to try and leave a little bit of space and maybe duck out of line just a little bit to try and get that air is really the only way to go about it.
Yeah, I want to remind fans, sorry about that, guys, that you are watching the Serve Pro 250 live here on All Pro Broadcasting. Fans, make sure if you have not done it yet, you click the subscribe button. That way you get all the alerts for all the races we have on Wednesday and Thursday nights at 8:50 p.m. Eastern. And you don't even have to worry about catching the race and being able to get your pick in for the free Domino's Pizza. Again, Serve Pro has the fastest response time to any disaster. Serve Pro is ready for whatever happens to you in your home, whether it is a water leak, whether it is a heavy rainfall, flash flooding. Unfortunately, if it could be a hurricane or anything, or tornado, you get any kind of damage, water-related, fire-related, Serve Pro will be there, and they will make it like it never even happened. Make sure you call 1-800-SERVE-PRO. The guys are heating it up front here in this race right now.
And Mark Jackson's still trying to work both lanes. It's working for him so far, but I really think James Ross is just cutting them that slack right now. Maybe trying to set him up. And actually, he pushed Mark Jackson by the inside line and then pulled inside of him. So don't think he really liked what Mark was doing there at this point in the race anyway, and drives on by him. He's got Eric Stanford in tow right now, and Tyler Chalk behind them.
Quick update on the trucks that came in and topped off right before we went back green. Will Davis, we talked to him just a minute ago on that number 11. He's back here running in 15th. We've also got Judd Danielson, that number 85, beautiful Chevrolet Silverado, 16th. Jeremy Crandall has got some serious damage he's getting past, and I was going back here in the back, guys, to give some updates on some of these other drivers. We've also got Ray Richer and David Wright were having issues earlier. They both have found themselves one lap down in 23rd and 24th position respectively. Unfortunately, that's going to eliminate any chance for Ray Richer unless something unheard of happens here. And David Wright was already 21 points below the cutoff line. It's absolutely going to ruin his chance of advancing. So guys, you can almost agree that you could write off the 44 and the 42. Not that we want to write them off. Great drivers, but they just had some bad luck here in Talladega.
And big run for the outside line here. Tyler Chalk leading the line with Mark Jackson and Chad Payne. It looks like William Locklear just a little bit behind them, trying to make that outside line work. But really, it's just Tyler Chalk and Jack Watts. It's Tyler Chalk and Mark Jackson, and they're making that outside line work right now. They had a big run off the straightaway, and obviously here comes the inside line through the corner, but look at the run they get down the straightaway with just these two trucks. And now that I think about it, Jack Watts isn't really as close as he could be, and he's got a bunch of trucks behind him, so I'm not sure. They're just trying to stay back off the pack a little bit. I don't think that's what Jack Watts is trying to do, because he just jumped up to the outside line behind Mark Jackson. And then Mark Jackson jumps down at the bottom. So I don't know. I think a lot of these guys are really just undecided on where they want to run right now.
That's just the way Talladega is. You know, one lane's appealing, and suddenly it's not once you get up there in the line stalls, the run stalls, you lose a drafting partner up top, and then you're just up there by yourself waiting for your next chance to recycle through. And that's this place is a chess match. People just think, hey, we're gonna keep it on the floor and turn left, but you've got to plan your strategy laps in advance before you get where you're going.
Another thing that's nerve-wracking, guys, is these guys that were on the cutoff line to make it into the next round. I can't imagine what they're going through. For example, Chad Payne in that beautiful number 9 Office HQ Chevrolet Silverado, he came into this race 5 points to the good, and he's doing what he needs to do. He's up in 8th place, so he's going to be able to gain some serious points on some of those other drivers I mentioned that were kind of already out. And also the 72 of Ivan Garcia. I tell you what, he is one of our loyal drivers. We love having him in here. He's driving that beautiful 72 Tide Ride Chevrolet Silverado. And he is up here, looks like, as high as the 9th position. And he was one below the cutoff line. Unfortunately, Jeremy Crandall is multiple laps down on that number 73. And I want to talk about it in just a minute. But unless something unfortunate happens to all these drivers, I'm afraid Jeremy is also going to have a real hard time getting, and transferring over to the next round. But I wanted to mention this paint job. I mentioned we got a lot of drivers that have got some beautiful paint jobs on their trucks tonight. One real quick highlight, if we're staying green, guys, let me know if anything happens up front crazy. The 73 of Jeremy Crandall, he always brings it to the Dominus TYJ Racing League with paint jobs. On the hood of his truck, he's got Save the Tatas, and I really wanted to highlight the back of his truck. He has got more than 3 million survivors and counting. He's got supporting those fighters, supporting the survivors, honoring the taken, and never, ever giving up hope. So I tell you what, we've got some great drivers with a lot of skill. We've got great drivers with some great talents painting their trucks. And on the very back of his truck, it says dedicated to all of those who've lost the fight.
Oh, they're wrecking up front. Eric Stanford sideways on the bottom lane. It looks like he got shoved by Mark Jackson into turn 3 there. Got shoved below the bottom lane. He keeps it down there. And they're 3 wide for the lead. Mark Jackson on the inside, James Ross in the middle, and Tyler Chalk on the outside. Scored in the lead that time was Tyler Chalk.
It is way too early to be going 3 wide at Talladega. I hope these guys can hold it down. Oh man, they got close right there coming off in 2. Curtis, again, single file is the answer right now, not 3 wide down the back straightaway with 50 to go.
Hey, they're 3 wide, 2 by 2 by 2, and they're going for it. There's still 32 laps to go here, and 3 wide for the lead. Like I said, this track is plenty wide enough if everybody can hold their line and not get too antsy. Then 3 wide honestly shouldn't be a problem at all. But
you know, Curtis, I completely agree with you. But I have seen guys that just get too antsy, and they think they can make that one move. They put their truck just into a little bit tighter of a space than what they think it is, and suddenly the entire field's caught up into a mess. But looks like right now they get a single file back, almost kind of double wide. But Robert, you brought it up earlier. Let's give a shout out to that 72, Ivan Garcia. He is up front. He's been up front all night. He's mounted his P's and Q's. He's kept the fenders on it. Robert, is he going to make the chase and surprise us all?
Well, I've got my calculator out. I know his crew chief has got their calculator out. And right now it's looking like he is probably going to make it. We've had, like I said, a few drivers, unfortunately, 73 who was +3 to the good before the race started. He's multiple laps down. So Ivan Garcia in that beautiful 72 Tide Rod, he's going to gain positions on the 73. He's also looks like he's going to gain positions on the number 15 of Jeff T. Martin, who's actually multiple laps down. And Jeff was 12 positions to the good. So I'm running these numbers, and it looks to me like right now, if the race ended as we speak, Ivan Garcia would transfer over. And there's an outside chance that James Somke would also transfer over. And it looks like, unfortunately, Jeremy Crandall will not transfer over, and Jeff T. Martin may not transfer over. The way it's looking now, but these are not final numbers. We still got, like you said, quite a few laps.
Yeah, I'm looking at Ivan Garcia as the Cinderella story of the season, the trucks. At the beginning of the year, Ivan Garcia was just coming in at Domino's TYJ. He had a lot of growing pains here in the lead.
We got green flag pit
looks like we got some
here, guys.
pit stops coming, guys. Looks like the 84, the 3, the 07 of Tyler Chalk, the 66 is in, the 71's in. Guys, we'll cover them down here.
Yes, sir. Let us know what they're doing. Who are you going to cover there, Joe?
I've got Mark Jackson. He's coming to his pit stop right now. He's going to be able to get that Silverado slowed down. He's going to be into his pits. I'm going to guess 2 tires, 2 cans of Sunoco fuel, kind of like Curtis discussed earlier. Let's see what they do. Oh, it looks like the left sides are going to go up.
2 tires on Wesley Whitfield.
We got 2 tires on Mark Jackson. Tyler, 2 tires.
So a lot of these guys, it doesn't really make sense to take no tires because for the amount of time that you're on pit lane, you have time for fuel, the amount of time that you're on pit lane for fuel, you have that time to change tires as well. So
the Ford William Locklear looks like he's coming in. Looks like he's by himself though, coming on the pit road. That is not what you want here at Talladega. You've got to have a drafting partner to stay competitive. William Locklear is in no man's land right now.
Yeah, real quick interruption, guys. I want to remind the fans you've got 2 more laps to get that pick in for your free Domino's pizza. All you have to do, fans, text your pick for the winner of this race in the next 2 laps before the end of lap 67 to 919-883-7497, or in the live chat say I choose this driver, and we will update who wins the free pizza tonight after the race.
Again, fans, your logical choices, in my opinion, the 11 of Will Davis, the 85 of Judd Danielson, the 19 of Tim B. Cox, the 7 of Blake Griffith, or the 17 of Gary Sexton. CCR and some co-opetition going on, as Robert calls it.
Yeah, but as you speak, right now we have Vernon Markham, that number 33 truck. He is leading this race. I'm not sure if he's led many laps tonight or not, but he's got that beautiful Y&S Young & Sons Incorporated Toyota Tundra pulling the field around this 2.66 mile super speedway. And right behind him in second place, look who we got actually third, is Ivan Garcia. He's up to second now.
The Cinderella story right now at Talladega, the 72 of Ivan Garcia up front in that Tide Rod, trying to find the pole position. I tell you what, Robert, he's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, just over Team Communications, the 70 Tide Rod is pitting now. Hopefully these trucks behind him, yeah, they allow him to get down pit road. And I don't know if Ivan's going to have a partner or not on pit road.
No man's land too. Nobody pits with the 72 machine. So that's kind of one thing you gotta get straightened out here. You got to make sure you got somebody, like Joe said. You have to have somebody to work with. And if you're going down pit lane by yourself, that's not really a good sign that you're going to have somebody to work with. So.
And don't look now, but it's 3 wide for the lead. We've got the 81 Shane Parrish in that Toyota Tundra Serpro. Actually, they're right behind the lead. We haven't talked about Shane very much tonight, but he's having a great run. He always seems to shine near the end of these races. We still got quite a ways to go, but I'm not sure who's going to win this one, guys.
Now, Robert, don't tell you I told you so, but I told you so. Let's take a look at that outside line. Here comes the 11 of Will Davis, the 85 of Judd Danielson, the 6, Gary Sexton, Tim B. Cox, all the CCR drivers. Now, let's remember, they came in and topped off that last pit stop. They'll be able to go a couple extra laps. CCR is about to do what they do best here at Talladega.
Yeah, but look who's leading the race right now. We have got, you guessed it, James Ross near the end of the race. He's already got all those wins. He's leading the race. And I want to talk about another driver in that Marathon Toyota Tundra, the number 45 of Sean Kalis. Looks like he has joined the Aegis racing teams. And I wanted to update fans. We've got a whole lot of different teams racing here, but the 2 biggest teams is CCR, Cross Continent Racing, which Joe is a part of. They've got a lot of great drivers. We also have the Aegis Motorsports team, which also have a great crop of drivers, and they're adding drivers almost every other week. And so these 2 powerhouses. Yeah, go ahead, Curtis.
Sorry, I was going to say, here comes that outside line with Will Davis leading it and Judd Danielson behind them, Gerald Campbell and William Locklear. But something else I want to note, James Ross, he's got his teammate just 1 truck behind him too, and Andrew Kessler in that number 98 Chef Andy's Lobster Rolls Toyota Tundra. He's just got Sean Kalis in between them, so.
Yeah, but this is an update, Curtis. Sean Kalis is part of that Aegis Motorsports team now. Seen it across the front of his truck. He's actually got that Marathon gasoline company on the hood, and he's got Chef Andy's Lobster on the back deck of his truck. And he's also got Aegis Motorsports. So we got 3 on the bottom teammates. We got 3 or 4 on the top working with competition. So this is going to be a battle to the end for the next 24 laps. Guys, I don't know if they can make it with that 1 more stop. I heard they can go about 30 to 33, so maybe they can, the ones that just pitted.
They can probably go another 8 to 10 laps, not 10 laps, I'm going to say 8 laps they can probably go. We went back green flag. Oh, and lap car sitting right in the middle, James Somke. Not sure if he didn't see the pack coming. Oh, and
we got trouble!
Caution is out. Caution is out.
James Tomke's in it. Looks like I can't see. The 6 is in it. Looks like
That's
Ivan
the 81
Garcia.
of Shane Parrish. The 6 is in it. The 4 is in it. And I don't know what happened with the lap truck, the one of James Somke there, but
just like that, Curtis, just that fast. Your luck here at Talladega can change. It's a crapshoot. You know, you never know what you're going to get every lap. Everybody's got to be perfect every lap, and that's what makes this racing here at Domino's TYJ so competitive. We're able to go for long green flag runs here at Talladega. We'll have to see how the field shakes out.
Yeah, give us a second to pull up the free play, guys, and you can go through it in detail. I'm going to be checking out the replay myself, and after that, we're going to take our first and only quick commercial break. So go ahead over what you saw in the replay, guys, real quick.
I mean, the one of James Somke, he probably should have picked a lane other than the middle lane there, and the 81 did come up on him on that contact there, caused the spin, but I mean, I don't think anybody really expected a lap truck to be right in the middle of the track either, so.
No, James Somke, I believe, like Robert talked earlier, he was only down a lap. He was trying to fight to stay in the chase. Probably should have put it up near the wall or down on the bottom. That middle groove is not the place to be if you're not up to speed. You know, he was able to hold his line through 1 and 2. Let's give him some credit, but I'm not sure if Shane Parrish came up or James Somke came down, but either way, it's probably something that could have been avoided. We're only on lap 70. We still got 24 to go, but you know, we'll have to see what Domino's TYJ officials call it up in the booth and go from there.
Yeah, and on this note, fans, we are going to take our first and only quick commercial break. You are watching the Serve Pro 250 live on All-Pro Broadcasting. Fans, we'll be right back with updates off of pit road. Talk to you in just a minute.
When you're ready,
ServPro, how can we help?
help gets there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driver the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
You're watching All Pro Broadcasting with Freedom Train.
Welcome back, fans, to Talladega. Curtis, we're still trying to get all this issues worked out. I guess you could call it from this last caution. Looks like the one was involved with James Somke. A lot of miscommunication from the spotter stands, from what I'm understanding. Some of the guys had it cleared high, some had cleared low, and it was just a big mix-up over there in turn 2 that resulted into that big caution. Ultimately, it takes some of the guys out. They're still trying to make the chase. I think James Somke is now 2 laps down. We know he was on the verge of getting cut, so not a good night for him. Up front, you know, we've got some new players. Looks like a lot of the CCR guys are starting to make their way forward. Curtis, what are you thinking?
Yeah, we're getting down to 20 laps to go. Everybody's got enough fuel to make it to the end now, so I know the Southeast guys, Jack Watts, Wesley Whitfield, all those guys, they all pitted around lap 64, just inside the pit window. So they are good, and yeah, I just I'm not sure how many more yellows we're gonna get here. 20 laps to go. It's getting down to the nitty-gritty. Gonna take a look at the chase grid and try and figure out who is where right now. And so Josh Tanner, he's sitting in 17th right now, so he's not really sitting in the best spot. Ivan Garcia is where did Ivan Garcia go? He's sitting in 19th, so him and Ivan and Josh, they've been close all night, and it's really going to come down to these last 20 laps to decide who gets through to the next round.
We've got Ivan Garcia in the booth, the driver of the 72 Tide Rod. Ivan, you surprised us all, buddy. You've been up front all night long. You got a lap down right there where nobody went with you to pit road, but you're able to get your lap back with this caution. We've only got a couple seconds, man. Can you get back to the front?
Oh, we got plenty of time. You know, we can make it. We got a fast car tonight. I get ready and I can people watching the race and good day and that's all. Thank you guys for having me. Do what we can do, man.
Well, hey, you know what? We're pulling for you. You're the Cinderella story here at Talladega. So, Ivan Garcia, you get yourself back up to the front and you go win this race, all right, buddy?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, thank you, Ivan. We wish you all the luck.
Alright, so under 20 laps to go at the restart. Still got 19 trucks on the lead lap. Are we going to see these guys start to back off still and wait for another big one? Or is everybody just going to be going for it now?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Curtis, from my standpoint, now is go time. You can't wait anymore, because if you wait for something else to happen and you get a long green flag run, you're too far back to get back to the front. And I know what Curtis Young would do. Curtis Young would be up front, hugging that yellow line, working traffic left and right. There's no way Curtis Young is going to the back of this pack now.
Well, let's bring these guys back in. And for the fans, one more time, let's do a crank it up, all-pro broadcasting, Dominus TYJ Racing style.
Green flag, green flag.
Welcome back, race fans. We are down to right at less than 20 laps to go. I hope you enjoyed that crank it up. And real quick, we have a new leader in town. This is the number 45 driver, Sean Kalis. Haven't been this all night. Quick Domino's driver profile. Sean is from Brighton, Illinois. His team is Aegis Motorsports. He's been in sim racing for about 10 years. He has got a K&N National Series win, a 70-lap Indy win at Daytona, one B-Class Open win at Talladega, so he knows how to get around these plate tracks. He gives special thanks to his family, his wife, Margaret, his son Troy. He also wants to give thanks to Talarico Signs and Designs for his paints. And he's looking good up front, but he's got his teammate behind him, James Ross. What do you guys think is going to happen the rest of this race?
You know what, Robert, right now it's too early to call the 51 of James Ross. Look to the inside, thought better of it, tucked back in line. The reason he's looking is because he's got company. Andrew Kessler, truck full as they work off into two. I'll tell you what, this is almost to the top. Mark Jackson to the top, Curtis. Hold your breath. Holy cow. Some crazy racing here at Talladega as they work down the back straightaway.
Yeah, James Ross tried to throw the block there. Mark Jackson wasn't having any of it. So James Ross is stuck in the sucker hole now. He moved up and out of line in front of his two teammates, and or from in between his two teammates, and it's looking like a mistake right now. He's falling back a little bit, and his two Aegis teammates are sitting up there with three Southeast drivers right behind them, I do believe. Actually, Mark Jackson, James Ross, and Vernon Markheim go around.
No caution. We're still green here at Talladega. I don't know how. Up front, Sean Kalis retains the lead. Looks like Andrew Kessler is in second. I tell you what, Curtis, how is there not a yellow flag right now?
Oh man, those guys, they all just sweeped off the track. It looked like, I'm looking back at the replay, and through the trial, but looks like the 33 of Vernon Markheim just slides up a little bit and clips both of those trucks. That also checks up the 85 machine. Judd Danielson got involved, and it checks up two of the CCR. All three of the CCR trucks actually get checked up on that, the 11, the 7, and the 17.
Back up front, guys, it looks like Sean Kalis, who I forgot to mention, just barely missed making it into the chase. He was the first or second driver just out of the chase, but he's showing some muscle now, and he's got his teammate of Andrew Kessler, that Lobsters, Andy's Lobsters, Chef Andy's Lobster rolls right behind him. And these laps are winding down fast. Joe and Curtis on lap 82 coming up too. We're going to have about 12 laps to go, and some of the fast trucks are out of this race now. If these guys can keep the guys behind them from Southeast, it's going to be a well of a finish. As I say that, the 71 and William Whitfield looks to the outside. I'll let you guys take it.
Back up front right now, looks like Sean Kalis, Andrew Kessler. Looks like the 24 of Eric Stanford show the way here, first, second, and third. Jack Watts back in fourth place, 66. To his outside, Mark Jackson in the 3. And right behind him, it looks like the 71 of Wesley Whitfield. Curtis, is the winner going to come from one of these trucks, or can the other guys track them down as their time?
It looks to be a 6-car breakaway right now. And
they're wrecking. Caution is out here at Talladega. The leaders.
The 85 of Judd Danielson off the bumper of Chad Payne. And actually, there was 2 different wrecks there, Joe.
Yeah, I was up front. I was watching the 71 of Wesley Whitfield. Looks like there was some, there was a wreck up front near the leaders too. So there's 2 different wrecks happening in 2 different locations. Let's see if we can get a replay pulled up so we can cover both of them.
First, go ahead, Curtis. First, we're going to look at the contact with the 85 and the 9.
Yeah, and it looked like, I'm not sure what Chad Payne was doing. Chad Payne looked like he just kind of bobbled, turned left into Judd Danielson, and I'll have to take a look and see what happened up in front of them, what the other wreck was.
Yeah, I'm looking at this first one with the 85 and the 9 of Chad Payne and Judd Danielson, and it definitely looks like what you just said. There were 3 wide back there with the 84 of Josh Tanner on the outside, and the 85 and the 9. They just come together there. The 9 might have come down just a tad. Definitely got into 85, turned in. They caught up the 84, and Josh Tanner was needing a good run here. Chad Payne was needing a good run here. And what about the accident up in the front, guys?
Guys, what I'm seeing up front, looks like Jack Watts and the 98 of Andrew Kessler get together. Andrew Kessler was outside in that 3rd lane. Jack Watts just took a peek right there on the inside. He had his bumper right there on the quarter panel. Looks like Andrew Kessler came down trying to protect that position, but it was too little too late. He turns across the front end of the 66, and chaos ensues.
Yep, that's pretty much what I saw. I mean, he left the hole. Jack Watts stuck the nose in there, and too little too late for Kessler. He kind of screwed himself there, so hate to say it, but yeah, that's what happens at plate tracks sometimes. You just you go for it, you misjudge it. It's hard to tell a lot of times. So
it's exactly
this changes everything, gentlemen.
Yeah, I tell you what, indeed it does, Robert. The guys that I'm watching right now, look from 6th to 10th, Robert, and tell me, what do you see in line?
6th to 10th in line. Non-winner.
Yeah.
All CCR. Okay, yes, sir.
So you got to remember, they're going to be nose to tail, 2 rows deep, and I guarantee you they're already formulating a plan. They're going to get in line off the first lap. Curtis, they're going to go to the high side, and they're going to track down these leaders quick, fast, and in a hurry. I guarantee you, Gary Sexton, he's giving all the orders right now as far as who needs to go where, and you watch him. It's going to be a thing of beauty here to watch CCR get to the front.
And guys, also, this is going to change things as far as Curtis, the chase standings. It looks like Sean Kalis is still going to be leading. Let us know if anybody makes any pit stops here. And I'm going to keep going over these admin duties real quick to find out what happened.
I doubt there's going to be any pit stops now. It's you're out there with what you got. You got 10 laps to go here at Talladega, a couple more pace laps. Everybody should be good on fuel. We're not worried about tires. It's either come home with a flag or come home with a wheel, Curtis.
Yeah, and I think right now the truck's to watch. Jeremy Crandall, he's still back. I don't think he's going to make it in, but Ivan Garcia is sitting far enough ahead of Josh Tanner right now that he would knock Josh Tanner out, and Chad Payne was involved. He's sitting at 19th right now. He was only plus 5 into the good, so I think it's going to be between Josh Tanner, Chad Payne, and Ivan Garcia. One of those guys is going to get knocked out.
Yeah, that's definitely the race that we'll be watching here for the elimination. Trying to watch up front as well to see who gets the checkered flag. But
actually, Jeff T. Martin back there too. I forgot about that. He might fall into the clutches of a couple of these guys too, but I can't do the math on that here right this second. So
now, does Ivan Garcia? Is there a certain number of spots he needs to finish ahead of these other guys? Do we not know that?
Ivan Garcia. Point behind Josh Tanner, so
coming into the race, yes sir.
Coming into this race, so I'm not barring them leading any laps, which I think they have both led laps here tonight. So I don't think that would play a factor. They'll each get a bonus point for that. Ivan Garcia would have to finish 2 positions ahead of Josh Tanner to get that. Get those 2 extra points and put himself 1 point ahead of Josh. So that's what Ivan wants to do right now, is try and keep that 84 behind him, and even the 9 of Chad Payne is within reach. If he can keep him with it 6 or 7 positions behind him, he can catch up to Chad Payne, and even the 07 of Tyler Chalk. He's 2 laps down now in 20 seconds, so that could be bad for the 07 machine too. It's really I don't think we're going to be able to tell until we crunch the numbers after the race here.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's been some good racing tonight, some long green flag runs here at Talladega. Something you don't really see a whole lot of inside the open servers at iRacing. Just a testament to the drivers and their ability here at Domino's TYJ. We've got some of the best in the league, some of the best on iRacing. When I first came into the league, Curtis, I was, I thought I'd get in here and win convincingly, but I tell you what, the talent level here is so deep. It's difficult to win a race in one of these series.
Yeah, and especially on a plate track, it's easier to keep up, obviously, because you're in the draft and everybody has a chance at it. But that exact thing makes it really difficult to win too. So I don't know. It's really just the luck of the draw at these plate tracks, and definitely with all these guys, the deepness of the drivers that we have, or the depth, I should say, of the drivers that we have, makes it a lot tougher too.
Yeah, I tell you what, one thing I'm really looking forward to already is next season here at Domino's TYJ. Robert, this is my first year here, and it's been a great year for me. I've really enjoyed it. I got my first win in the series at Atlanta, in the Xfinity Series. Tell the people, that are watching tonight, or maybe some guys who are thinking about joining the league, about some of the races we may have for recruiting next year.
Yes, fans and iRacing drivers. Obviously, we're not accepting any new drivers as we are in the chase. The first Wednesday after Thanksgiving of 2017, we are going to start our live broadcast on All Pro Broadcasting tryout races. These races will be live on YouTube with Michael D'Amico and All Pro Broadcasting every Wednesday night. And they will be going through the end of December. We will be looking to recruit a handful of clean competitive racers. And fans, you definitely want to tune in. We're also going to be giving away the free pizza giveaway during that time. So fans, you want to be watching. Drivers, if you've been wanting to get and become part of what we're doing, if you're a clean competitive racer, you can show us that in one of these tryout races. So make sure you keep in touch, and you will definitely know the details of those. They will all be at 8:50 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for asking, Joe. It's going to be an exciting 2018.
Absolutely right, Robert. We've been able to talk to some of the Domino's TYJ officials about some of the things that may be going on next season. And I tell you what, fans back home, you guys are in for a treat next year. With us really getting into the chase and getting everything correct and getting these top-notch drivers in here, the racing's only going to get better. We got Michael D'Amico, who brings us great camera views every single race throughout our series with All Pro Broadcasting. We can't wait to see them back on board next season. So, Robert, I'm already looking forward to 2018. But right now, the lights are off. Let's settle this one here tonight at Talladega.
Is this going to be the final restart? Under 10 here to go. And Sean Kalis still at the point. Don't see him up front very often, but he had some help from his Aegis Motorsports teammates to get up there. Both of them end up wrecked out. Now he's all up there by himself with a bunch of CCR drivers, bunch of Southeast drivers. Will he be able to hold them off?
Curtis, right now,
the green flag.
You make a deal with the devil if it gets you a win here at Talladega. That's how serious it is to get a win. We're waiting for that green flag.
Green flag.
It is back in the air here at Talladega. We're under green. Looks like up front, 45 of Sean Kalis. He's got the 3 of Mark Jackson tucked in behind him. Outside of them, 66 of Jack Watts. Wesley Whitfield, William Davis, Blake Griffin, Tim Cox, and Gary Sexton all coming after that checkered flag right now. CCR, quick, there's a wreck. Looks like the 71. There's the big one that we've been talking about all night. Man, it took out a lot of good trucks.
Yeah, fans, give us just a minute to get this figured. Guys, what did you see as we get the replay pulled up?
Right now, Robert, I'm watching the replay. It looked like the 7 of William Davis had a big run. The 71 of Wesley Whitfield, he tried to come up. They really get that push, but instead he just ended up turning Will Davis, and that just caused a chain reaction.
Yeah, and I think all your CCR drivers taken out in that one.
That's exactly right. Every single one of them. They're all gone. Actually, there's one left. Let's see who that is. Looks like Gary Sexton in CCR is still alive and kicking, but
he had a pretty hard hit. So
did he?
No, he's smoking. He's smoking. He's no good.
Yeah, I tell you what, Curtis, I hate to see races. We get down to these last few laps, and I know we all want to win just as bad as the next guy, and that's what makes us so competitive. And we're willing to make that move we wouldn't make earlier in the race to try to defend that position. But a lot of times here at Talladega, in any series and in any league, it usually leads to the big one that we just saw.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said before, it's hard to tell if you're clear, and you think when you start moving up a lot of times that guy's going to let off, but we're at that point in the race where people aren't going to let off, and
I actually,
that's
Curtis,
the result.
I was wrong. That was Blake Griffin that got to the wall. The 11 of Will Davis from CCR doesn't have a scratch on it. Yeah, he's still got a beautiful truck, sponsored by CCR, Hexcam, iWraps. So it'll be interesting to see, now that he's a one-man guy, can he get up there himself and get the job done? I know that Mark Jackson is difficult to pass here at play tracks, especially with the laps winding down. I'm not sure how many laps they're going to have left of green flag racing. Jack Watts, he's going to be tough as well. Sean Kalis, though, still shows the way in that 45 truck. Can he win it?
I think he can. He's got, I think Mark Jackson and Jack Watts are teammates on that Southeast Motorsports team. So they're together up there. But Sean Kalis also has the 81 of Shane Parrish not too far back in the 5th position. So I think if he'll be restarting on the inside lane, and if that second place car, the second car on the inside, decides to move up a lane, he's gonna have that teammate support right behind him. So
I tell you what, Curtis, how about the 6th spot? Ivan Garcia has found his way back up to the front yet again. 6th place. The truck looks pretty freaking good right now. Looks like he's got a small little dent on the hood, but nothing's going to slow him down. Ivan Garcia may come out of here with a top 5.
yeah, and if he does, that's going to shake up the points quite a bit, because some of these drivers that thought they were relatively safe, 10 to 12 points above the cutoff line, if Ivan gets a top 5 and a lot of these guys had 20th, 25th, that's going to put them out.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'll tell you what, Ivan Garcia has really progressed here tonight. He's stayed in it. He hadn't quit. He's paid attention to what's going on. So it's good to see him up front doing his thing. And hopefully Ivan Garcia will be able to bring home the top 5. The Cinderella story will continue into the next round of the chase. Where do they go next, Curtis?
Let me take a quick look here.
While Curtis is doing that, we do want to thank all the fans that come out every week and check us out here at Domino's TYJ on our YouTube channel. Everybody that's after that free, large Domino's pizza that Robert McFarland gives away every broadcast. We're the only league that does that. And that's why that we always enjoy you guys tuning in. What you got for us, Curtis?
So the next round consists of, 16 drivers move on. Like we said, obviously we're going to be dropping 4 out of the 20 field driver list right now. And we go to next race, we go to Indianapolis, then we go to Texas, and then we go to Auto Club Speedway, California. And after that, we're going to cut out 4 more drivers and have 12 with a shot at the championship headed into Homestead. So 4 races left after tonight, being Indianapolis, Texas, California, and Homestead in that order.
Well, Curtis, what are you going to do? Once the season's over, I'm not even sure what I'm going to do. Have you got any plans yet?
I mean, we got these tryout races that, like you were just talking about, that start up not too long after the season begins. I'm not even sure if we're going to have a break this year with how long our Domino's TYJ season was running. So I'm sure we already got things in the works behind the scenes for next season and all that. So not too much of a break here for Domino's TYJ racing between the 2017 and 2018 seasons. But I think I'll probably just relax for those couple weeks, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I know that we're getting ready for Thanksgiving over here in South Carolina, and we're looking forward to it. We got some football left to be played here also for my Gamecocks. One of the things here at Domino's TYJ that I really enjoy, even though it's probably not the most pleasant of jobs, is the way that our guy that runs the league, Robert McFarland, handles these penalties in race. Robert, why don't you give us a quick rundown of how you break down a yellow flag as soon as an incident has happened?
Appreciate you asking that, Joe. It is not easy. It's definitely not easy. But overall, this is a very fun thing to do, and we appreciate the fans. Again, fans, make sure you stay tuned after the race and get the details on who won that free pizza. I basically pulled the replay as you guys in the booth and or me comment on what happened there. I asked the drivers that were involved if they want to claim the caution there.
Now, let me stop you there. Let's say that the driver claims the caution, Robert. What happens there?
Yeah, if the driver claims the caution, their penalty is to start the next restart at the end of the line.
Okay, and let's say that a driver doesn't claim the caution, and you go back and you see that driver caused that incident.
In that case, if I determine the driver caused that incident, I give them the penalty anyway.
And then talk to me about how a driver may have a penalty where he will say start from pit road the next week.
Yes, we're working on things for 2018. As always, things are always going to be greater going into the future because we're all are learning. But for the rest of this season has been, if you cause a caution, whether you claim it or not, at the end of the race and there is no restart, we have a race ending under caution that was caused, in my opinion, by you. If you claim it, you start from pit road next race. If you don't claim it and I determine that you caused it, you get to start from pit road. Pretty stiff penalties, but they apply to everybody in the league. They apply to admins. They apply to people that help sponsor practices. They help the sponsors of races. They help the guys who've won a lot of races, guys who've never won races. I try my best to be fair across the board. I'm not perfect either, but for the most part, hopefully, I keep it pretty fair.
Well, I'll tell you what, Robert, you do a great job, and all the drivers here appreciate all the time and effort you put into the Domino's TYJ Racing League. And like I said, we're super excited about 2018. Curtis, looks like the lights are off atop the pace car. They're 2 by 2 by 2 as they work off down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and this will be the last restart on the night. Like we were just talking about, hopefully I wouldn't want to be the one to cause the caution. You're going to have to start from pit road next race. So hopefully some of those guys keep that in mind here. And a lot of these guys got to remember, some of the wrecks I've seen here tonight were caused by blocks, and I think there's one or two drivers who might have tried to block somebody and taken themselves out of the chase. So
yeah, I definitely agree with that sentiment. And the other thing that you have to keep in mind now is if there is a caution and the driver does cause it and he's in the chase, well, next week it's almost guaranteed he starts a lap down to begin the race. So you really got to keep that in the back of your mind. I know you want the win, I know you want those chase points as well, but is the risk worth the reward right now, or are you just going to stay in line and make it to the next round?
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be starting from pit road in the chase, but quite a few beat up trucks gonna come back and take the green flag here. It looks like we only have 11 on the lead lap now after that wreck. Waiting on Sean Kalis to bring us back to the green flag here. Green flag waves for the final time here tonight in the Serve Pro 250. Who's gonna be the first one back to the line? 3 laps to go is what we have left here.
Well, there goes Will Davis down to the bottom, so I know he's going to be pushing that 45. So, he moves up. Oh, there's another one.
All right, man, caution is out.
That's going to do it. That's going to end the race. Curtis, who you got up front?
I believe it's Mark Jackson. And Ivan Garcia is going to get second, I do
I'm
believe.
showing right now on my telemetry that Sean Kalis is scored as the leader. Now, I'm not sure if that's accurate or not.
I'll tell you what we're going to do, guys. We're going to take a quick review of this caution, see what happened, and we'll definitely know the exact numbers of how the race ended in a minute, but according to this review, it looks like the 45 may have missed a shift there. That would be Sean Kalis. What y'all see?
Yeah, I'm watching that, and it looks like the 45 just something happened. He slowed down a bunch, and people started going around, but eventually
guys, I'm hearing from the NASCAR scoring position. It looks like Mark Jackson is going to come home with first tonight. In second place, Cinderella story of the year, Ivan Garcia is going to go to the next round of the chase. Ivan Garcia, holy cow.
Ivan Garcia, with his first top 3 of the season, I believe, sneaks that one out. He's going to make his way into the next round, and I think Josh Tanner is going to be out. He's been really strong here this year, and that's going to be unfortunate for him if he gets knocked out because of a bad race here at Talladega and really just a bad round.
Yeah, I tell you what, and that's a tough part of the chase, Curtis, is the round by round, and we have to come here to Talladega, but that's why it's so important to formulate a strategy, try to stick to it, try to plan the race if you can. I know that's a difficult thing to do here, but if you have a strategy that you can employ to keep you safe the entire night, that's the way to go here at Talladega. We've seen it before. I'm sure we'll see it again next season. Guys will go to the back. They'll ride around for a while, wait for that last caution, and 30 or 40 to go. They try to get after it. But, again, Talladega, you never know what's going to happen, and, you're just kind of at the luck of everybody else. So looks like Mark Jackson's going to come home in first. Ivan Garcia surprises everybody with his first top 3 of the year, like Curtis said. In second, looks like third, Gerald Campbell. In the 6, Sean Kalis. In the 45 is going to come home in fourth. Looks like Will Davis of CCR is going to round up the top 5.
Yeah, and fans and guys, we're going to take a real quick 1-minute commercial break as we get this replay reviewed. We get the finishing order completely finalized. Fans, you are watching the Serve Pro 250 live on All Pro broadcast. We'll be right back for interviews and the winner of the free pizza. Don't go anywhere.
Gentlemen, before they go fast and start to power slide, we salute you with the big blocks for wine. Race fans, it's showtime.
We welcome you back here to Talladega, Curtis. Looks like we finally got everything sorted out. So your winner tonight will be the 3 of Mark Jackson. He actually wins from the pole. We don't see that very often here. Second, Cinderella Story of Ivan Garcia. Third, Gerald Campbell. Fourth, Sean Kalis. Rounding out the top 5, William Davis. Coming home in 6th place tonight, William Locklear. Jack Watts coming home 7th. James Ross brings it home in 8th. Vernon Margheim in 9th. And looks like Eric Stanford will round out our top 10. 11th, looks like we got Shane Parrish. 12th is Tyler Chalk. 13th is Ray Richer. 14th, David Wright. Jeremy Crandall comes home tonight in 15th. Gary Sexton comes home in 16th. Wesley Whitfield, 17th place. Tim B. Cox will find himself finishing 18th tonight. Josh Tanner, 19th. And while Judd Danielson once again gets snake bit by some bad luck, will finish in the top 20. Chad Payne, Blake Griffith, Andrew Kessler, James Somke, Jeff T. Martin, Joe Johnson, Gary Weston, Ralph Vandervorst, Richard Brose, and Samuel Givens did not make the race, and that will complete your field.
Thank you so much. Now we have, looks like Curtis has caught up with our 3rd place finisher, Gerald Campbell, the number 6. I'll let you take it away, Curtis.
Yeah, Gerald, pretty eventful race for you. You started in the 4th position. Had a pretty rough race though. I think you got involved in one of the earlier cautions and got set back through the field, and I kind of thought that might, even though you had a big cushion into this race, the hit you took, I kind of thought you were going to be done, and that might spell disaster for you, but you didn't give up, and you made your way back up to the front. Big wreck happens at the end. You wind up P3. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, I didn't think I would be. Whoa there, Mark. I didn't think I'd be up there that far along. I think my max speed there at the end was I can only get up to 155, which if people don't know, that's about 30 miles or 40 miles per hour slower than what it needs to be. But I just never gave up. I saw Ross had some damage, and even though again it's going to reset, the competitor in me wants me to just beat that guy anytime I can. But I got to thank CCG for allowing me to be on their team this week. You know, they allowed me to get some drafting help on this. It was good in the front for the first part of the race, if that wasn't shown in the in today's broadcast. But we were controlling the front, and we were hoping that all of us was going to get up there again at the end. There are a lot of good people on that team, so I was thankful to be on there, and heck of a race.
Yeah, and definitely going to be in the next round, in the round of 16. You're 29 points into the good headed into tonight. 3rd place will definitely be good enough to move you on. So what do you think about the next round? Indy, Texas, and California.
Indy, we'll see how I do there. I always say I don't think I'm going to do good at a track, and the next thing I know, I just start picking up speed and start doing well. So I'm not gonna go to this chase doubting myself at all. I'm gonna go to every single race thinking that I'm gonna go out there and try to lead every lap, win in qualifying, win in practice, win in the race, and hopefully be able to speak to you guys every single race. So, like I said, I'm excited for the next couple races. I don't feel like I have any kind of pressure on me. I think I just want to go out there and prove that I should be in the front of the points every race.
All right, Gerald, and anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Thanks CCG again for letting me team up with them, and thank my parents for always allowing me to be able to set up my racing rig on their beautiful Wi-Fi that I do not have at my house. So I want to be able to run competitive, and that was one way for me to be able to make sure I run competitive. Thank my fiance, who we're going to be getting married here soon, so she's still allowing me to go about my crazy dreams of racing with you guys, so I'm happy about that. Anyone that stuck through and watched the race, I know it was a caution fest there at the end, but it's not usually like that. So I have a feeling that we're going to go back to some long green flag racings here for the next couple tracks here. They usually tend to have those, so just looking forward to coming back and doing it all over again.
Real quick, Gerald, the wedding date, is it before the season is over?
No. It looks like I may end up missing one race. So I have 2 races. I think it might be the second to the last one. I have 2 races to really make sure I have a good points lead going into it, so I don't have to worry about anything.
From one iRacer to another, just let me tell you that's entirely unacceptable. No, we're just kidding. Good luck on it, man, and congratulations.
All right, I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, if you thought I was racing hard before, I only have 2 races to everyone 3. I got to really race hard these next couple, so it should be fun.
All right, thanks, Gerald. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. And now I have caught up with our second place finisher. We talked to him earlier, Ivan Garcia. This is Robert Curtis. And Joe is down there hunting the winner. We'll talk to him in a minute in Winner's Circle. But Ivan, you pulled it off, sir, young man, Ivan Garcia, in that beautiful tide ride. You finished second place tonight. How did your race go? And I'm 99% sure I can congratulate you for moving on to the next round.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And thank you for doing it. Thank you for putting this race up. And I thank Demikio and you and everybody watching this race tonight. It was a great race. I had a pretty decent car tonight. And thanks for Ralph Yates Racing Parts and Carolina Speedway and Panther. That's my sponsor. So I don't know what to say. I was close there. I missed a couple of big ones there.
You sure did there, Ivan, and I've said this many times. I didn't say it tonight, but a lot of things go into winning one of these races or even finishing second. One thing is you got to be lucky, and you had a little bit of luck there. You raced hard. Your skill was definitely very apparent as you were leading or you were in the front of the pack for a lot of the race. You did make that pit stop, put your lap down, but then the luck factor came in, Ivan. Caution came out, you got your lap back, and here you are sitting in second place. I think it's your best finish so far in Domino's TYJ Racing, which we're excited about. We're happy you're here. And like I said before, I'm 99% sure you're moving on to the next round, so congratulations, Ivan. You have a great weekend, and we'll definitely talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And thank everybody involved. And thanks again, thank you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. So, thanks a lot. We appreciate it. And God bless you all. And have a good night. And thank you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Ivan. That was awesome. That it was Ivan Garcia. And it looks like now our good friend Joe Johnson has made it all the way down to Victory Circle. He has finally got a chance to catch up with a very excited, I expect, Mark Jackson for this win. Go ahead, take it away, Joe.
Hey, thanks, guys. We're down here in Victory Lane right now. Mark Jackson. I had to make my way through the confetti, and I got a little champagne on me as I was coming in. What a great run. You were able to get up front. You were able to work traffic all night long. It takes a little luck to win here. Tell us about your race.
Yes, Joe, yes. Oh, my God. Our over-the-top pace of designs, Pad Motorsports Chevrolet was super fast. We put this thing on the pole, and we wanted to keep our track position tonight. Man, what a tough race. These guys were super, super competitive up here racing. Unbelievable. We made it through some close skirmishes. I mean, there was some really, we were trading paint a little bit up here, trying to hold track position with these guys. I'm just super stoked. My son is here, Mark Anthony Jackson Jr., my granddaughter, Angel Rain Jackson, my brand new grandson, Levi Ryan Jackson, just born last week. Oh my God, this is just super special to win at this track and to just come home with a victory and punch our ticket into the next round.
I tell you what, fans, if you don't hear the guy's emotion, I want you fans at home to understand, this thing here, this iRacing thing that we do every week, week in and week out, it is so special to get a win. And Mark, I can hear it in your voice. And, I grew up a Dale Senior fan. It's always good to see that 3 cross the finish line first. Is there anybody out there tonight besides all the wonderful people you got with you right now that you want to give a thank you to?
I do. First of all, I want to give a special thanks to the first responders and the police department and all those people and all the Americans that came up and rose to the occasion with the shootings that happened in Las Vegas over the weekend. It's really sad, but it's really a testament to the good people in this country and I'm really proud to have the American flag on my car. Really proud to drive for Pat Motorsports and Nikki Kalini and that family. Always wanted to give them a good run and a good represent them. Just, man, I'm just at a loss for words. Oh my God! Woo!
I tell you what, we really enjoyed watching you tonight. You get back over there, you celebrate with your crew and your family, and I tell you what, heck of a run tonight. Robert, Curtis, another race at Talladega that, the first 30 laps is very calm, it's very leisurely. Everybody's minding their P's and Q's, they're all playing nice. But as we've seen, as the race gets deeper into the night, a lot of those guys that were real friendly at the beginning of the race no longer give up those spots. It leads to a couple cautions. Mark Jackson winning from the pole. That's the thing that's kind of unheard of here at Talladega. So if there was ever a number to get here first, it was definitely that 3 truck. What are you guys thinking about tonight's race?
Yeah, real quick, Mark, while you're in here, I wanted to say congratulations to Mark Jr. Your son picked you for the win, so he will be winning that large 3-topping Domino's pizza, so you got even more things to be excited about.
Yes, yeah. He's going to have to share that baby with me.
Yes, sir. I understand that. You have a great one. We'll talk to you soon, Mark. Curtis, I'll let you take that question. What'd you think about the race?
It was a pretty good race overall. We had a good green flag run that unfortunately we had some technical difficulties on the broadcast for, but our points guys have actually crunched the numbers so fast that I have our 16 drivers that have moved on in front of me here, so I'm going to go ahead and name those off. The 16 drivers moving on into the next round, that's going to be the 51 of James Ross, the 3 of Mark Jackson, who we just talked to, Gerald Campbell, Gary Sexton, William Locklear, Shane Parrish, Jack Watts, Vernon Margheim, Blake Griffith, Ivan Garcia, who we just spoke to. He made his way all the way up to the 10th slot from being 1 point out. So Judd Danielson sits in that 11th slot. Tyler Chalk in 12th. Andrew Kessler in 13th. Jeremy Crandall finishes the round in 14th. Jeff T. Martin 15th, and Chad Payne is the last driver to make it in, and that means the 4 drivers left out and eliminated after tonight is Josh Tanner, Ray Richard, David Wright, and James Somke. So there is your 16 drivers moving ahead and the 4 drivers that got eliminated tonight.
Well, thank you so much, Curtis. I tell you what, it was an awesome race. I'm happy to be back in the booth with you guys. Thank you, Joe, for jumping up and helping out. What did you think, Joe?
Well, it's just another night at Talladega. It's we see it every race. You never know where the winner's going to come from. It could be anybody, and that's the wonderful and the terrible thing about Talladega is it can take every formulated plan that you've come up with all week and just turn it on its head in the blink of an eye here, half a lap, and your plan's out the window. The drafting partner that you worked with all week, it's taken out early. You have to adjust on the fly, and that's why you need to get a win before we get to Talladega inside the chase and the playoffs, because it is so tough to know where you need to be inside the pack.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. It was a very exciting race, and these guys are already trying to do some figuring on the next round, what they're going to have to do, what kind of a truck they're going to bring to the next race. I do want to thank you, Curtis, and you, Joe, Michael D'Amico with All Pro Broadcasting. Again, fans, you have been watching the Surf Pro 250 live on All Pro Broadcasting. It's been a great one, guys. Thanks for joining, fans. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night. It will be race number 2 for our Top Shelf Cup Series in the Domino's TYJ Racing League. They will be racing at the High Bank Super Fast Dover Racetrack. You do not want to miss that show at 8:50 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. And we will be starting on time, and we will be giving away another free large 3-topping Domino's pizza. So, fans, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you, Michael D'Amico. This is Robert McFarland. Everybody have a great night, a great 21 hours, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the race at Dover for the Top Shelf Cup, guys. Have a great one, guys.
I am my own justice. I am my own man. I never look behind through all that I have seen. 'Cause all I need is white lines of gasoline. White lines of gasoline. White lines of gasoline. White lines of gasoline. American way, and we built this country called the USA, and we fly our flag 'cause we're proud and free.
Gentlemen, before they go fast and start to power slide, we salute you with the big blocks for wine. Race fans, it's showtime.